What's up, guys? We are back again. My boy Nelson's back with me again on the final score this week. We've got playoffs to talk about. We've got uh, people getting fired. We got bad referees. We got maybe bad referees. We got a lot of stuff going on. But the main thing is the playoffs. Hope you guys had a good week this week. Kind of nasty weekend last weekend. I guess it could have been a lot worse. But it looks like here in our little neck of the woods, it looks like it's going to be another nasty weekend. Probably starting late Thursday night into Friday morning. Calling anywhere from what are you hearing? Like 5 inches?
I've heard 3 to 5. I've heard 6 to 9. Some of them have showed 10, 12 inches.
Yeah, somebody told me a couple hours ago at the dollar store that they had heard 10 inches, and I was like, I don't want to see all that. But anyway, it's nothing we can do about it. So we just sit here, and if it does snow us in, I'll just sit back and watch football all weekend. Playoffs this weekend. Like I said, Nelson's with me again. Quicksilver up there is with me again. But playoffs this weekend, and I don't know how much of the playoffs you watched this weekend, but I saw a good majority of it. I did not see much of the Bills game. I saw a few minutes of it before I had to work Sunday, and Saturday, like I said, when you mentioned snow and you work in a grocery store, things get hectic, and it was hectic Saturday, so I was pretty wild. But Sunday, I did not get to see much of the Bucks game, but I kind of figured what that outcome was going to be. But, of course, the 49ers Cowboys game, I got to see all of that. That was, anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. But there was some blowouts, mostly blowouts this weekend. And one good game, one real good game that come down to the end. Well, two of them, I'll put it that way. But, yeah, I mean, good weekend for football, so for that, but typical playoff weekend. Probably my favorite weekend of the year as far as the football season goes, because you got so many games in playoff style, and yeah,
that's right.
My favorite weekend. How about you?
Oh, I enjoy it. I love it.
Yeah, and starting out Saturday early game. The Bengals host the Raiders, and Bengals looking for their first win, and I think they said, what was it, 30-some years? First playoff win in 30-some years. And yeah. I'll tell you what I watched this morning. I keep hounding on. We got such good internet now. I was on my Fire Stick on YouTube, and it popped up the most bizarre last 10 minutes of a football game, and it was 2015 Wildcard game. The Bengals hosting the Steelers, where the Bengals self-destructed with Burflick and Pac-Man Jones. Two unsportsmanlike conduct penalties right there in one play gets us in field goal range. We kicked the field goal to win the game, but there was so much crap that went on that night. It was hilarious. But it's a different Bengals team. They don't make these kind of mistakes. Bengals go up against the Raiders who did kick the field goal and got into the playoffs. But going into this game, I kind of felt the Bengals were going to win this. And I think we both picked the Bengals last week to win.
Yeah, that's right.
But Derek Carr hasn't played bad. And they were on a hot streak, really. They were on a hot streak coming in, but Bengals got even hotter streak. I mean, beat the Chiefs, lost that meaningless game to the Browns without Joe Burrow, without Mixon in there, and who knows how many of their stars played. So they're coming in here on a mission.
Yeah.
And they come out firing from the start. Burrow gets a touchdown pass to Uzoma. And we have to look at this. In the first half, it was 20-13 at halftime. But one of the key plays we're gonna talk about here, and I don't know what your opinion is here, but I'm kind of up in the air about this. We're going to share the screen and let you guys see this right now. Hold on, maybe I can get it to play again. All right, this is in like you can see late in the first half. They're up 13-6, driving down the field. It's 3rd and 6. Joe Burrow drops back. Now you listen real close, and you tell me. I mean, we're just going to let it play out.
Keep it alive, scrambles, throws it back in the end zone. Was he out of bounds first, or is it a touchdown? I think he was out of bounds. They're discussing it. Caught in the back by Boyd. Conversation on the sideline here for the moment. No signal yet. Jerome Boger, the referee, is over here on the sideline. As they are in conversation, was he out when he threw?
The result of the play, touchdown.
Touchdown! And he certainly will get closer inspection.
So yeah,
And Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
well, the ruling part. I mean, supposedly if the whistle's blown, the play's dead.
Right.
So would it been? I'm assuming it would have been. Would they have lost it down? I'm not sure. Would they have lost downs? Would they have replayed it down, or?
I would think they would have to if they said, okay, whistle blew, plays dead. If they had done that, they probably would have had to go back, review it, see he did not step out of bounds, and I would think they would have to replay the down.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't just, but I mean, I see the Raiders being upset with it. I really do. The ball's in the air. I've never seen a play so where the whistle was blown so late because the ball was almost in his hands when it was. I don't know what you got. I mean, I'm at a loss really. I think if I'm about 60-40 that it should have been the play should have been blown dead. Because anytime that whistle blows, you gotta call it in. I've dealt with it. There was a time I was assistant coach, and we had a quarterback that our offense was like a run pass option, and the quarterback could really fake on a 3rd down play.
Yeah.
He faked it so well that the referee blew when the running back got tackled without the ball.
Yeah.
He blew the whistle while the quarterback's rolling around for a 1st down. In that situation, they replayed that down.
Yeah.
And it happened twice in that same game.
Mm-hmm.
But with me, I mean, rules are rules. I guess it should have been blown dead. And I can see Las Vegas being upset about it. But because, I mean, the final score ends up being Cincinnati 26, Raiders 19. Now, would they have scored if they replayed the down? They would have got at least a field goal. So
they would have got a field goal. So
yeah, I mean, it's not like that 7 points it was 7 points right off. You're looking at maybe four points there. But
that's right.
You know, you don't ever know. But there was some other. I was watching this game. There were some other calls that went. There was late in the game. It was a third. I want to say it was a 3rd down play for the Raiders that they didn't get. A linebacker holding, pulling on a wide receiver, and did not get called.
No call.
Yeah, there was a couple other things that could have went the Raiders' way. It didn't, and a lot of people were calling it home cooking for the Bengals, and you know things like that happen. I mean, there's bad calls in every game. Referees, in my opinion, and I've said it for years, referees need to be full-time referees, and they need to be held accountable for bad calls. Just like a player is punished for bad plays or not playing up to par, he's not going to get the next contract he gets is not going to be great. A referee, if you make a bad call like that, it needs to go on your record. I mean, such an obvious bad call because all they do, I mean, they could have come out Monday and said, yeah, we made a mistake. What good does that do to Raiders?
Yeah. Really.
You're not gonna go back and replay the game.
Yeah, it's over with.
I mean, you can't give, but and the Raiders were driving down the field near the end of the game, and Derek Carr, I have no idea who he was throwing to. I mean, I know who he was throwing to, but the guy, there was two Bengal defenders right there. And I mean, I know he was trying to make something happen late in the game, and I won't take anything against Derek Carr this year because he's done better than I thought he was. Raiders, I actually thought after the whole Gruden deal.
That they would have just fell off.
Excuse me. And then the wide receiver, the Bugs kid, with the crash, I thought they would probably implode and just not play well the rest of the year. But, you got to give credit to them. They've done a good job.
They fought back in it.
So the Bengals get a 26-19 win. Burrow, 244 yards, 2 TDs, no picks. Looking at Jamar Chase has a big game, 9 catches, 116 yards. Zay Jones for the Raiders, an ECU Pirate, 5 catches, 61 yards, a touchdown on a losing effort. So the Bengals move on. Then we go to the nightcap. And this was a game that we talked about, and we both said that the Patriots had backed their way into playoffs. They weren't playing well. They lost to Miami the last game of the season. The only big thing they did was the Jaguars, whooping up on the Jaguars, which, apparently everybody but Indianapolis can do that.
Yeah.
So then you got the Bills. Bills got something to prove. They want to get back to Kansas City and get revenge on Kansas City for their loss in the AFC Championship game last year. And this was never a game. What were your thoughts on this game? I know you saw more than I did.
Yeah, I mean, from the get-go, they dominated on the offensive side of the ball. Defensive-wise, it looks like they just were totally outmatched. And, it was a totally lopsided game the whole time, a blowout for the Bills. So,
yeah, and kind of surprising a Bill Belichick team to lose like this in the playoffs. They're down 27-3 at the half. It was 27-0, and they kick a field goal to make it 27-3. And then the second half is more of the same. And to me, and I don't know what you thought, did it not look like Buffalo was trying to run it up on the Patriots?
They didn't slack up.
There was passes.
Yeah.
Late in the game, a pass, a touchdown to a was it an offensive lineman? Yeah, offensive lineman, an eligible offensive lineman came in the game in the fourth quarter, and it was a pass to him. And,
that's right. I remember.
And then I'm looking here. Yeah, and then there was two passes in the fourth quarter for touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was after the game was way out of reach. There was no question. And 47-17 win for Buffalo, the worst playoff loss in Bill Belichick's history in his coaching career. And then of course, these people kill me. After the game, automatically people start talking about, well, Belichick needs to hang it up. Belichick really needs to call it quits now. He's past his prime. just 2 weeks ago, they were talking about how great a job he had done with this team. And now he's past his prime. Stop being so daggone fickle. Do I like Belichick? No, but give the guy credit. I mean, you got a rookie quarterback that nobody expected anything from. It got you to the playoffs. Played well enough to get you there. Slumped at the end of the season in the playoffs. But, man, I mean, I'll give credit to Belichick. And I don't like to do that, but I'll give credit to him. He did a great job this year with his team.
Yeah, he did. He did. Really did.
And as far as Buffalo goes, Josh Allen, I mean, listen to the stat line. 21 for 25, 308 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, no interception. Almost a perfect game.
Yeah.
And then he ran. And this is
ran the ball.
This is what I don't like to see with Buffalo. You keep running this guy, you are taking a chance of putting him on the sidelines. I mean, the game against Tampa Bay, whole first half, no running back ran the ball for Buffalo. It was Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And at the end of the game, they ran him and sprained it. He had a mild sprain, but still, Buffalo's got to realize your backup is Mitch Trubisky. I mean, Mitch Trubisky's got playoff experience, but not good playoff experience.
No.
He's no Josh Allen, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, why? I mean, I know he's a tough quarterback. I mean, he can run. He is fast. But, I mean, they have what's Singletary and
yeah.
Yeah, and then they got one other running back that they use.
Zach Moss, I think, is his.
Yeah. So I mean, and both of those are good backs, but they use him in so many run plays.
You know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the deal is. I'm trying to see how many yards rushing he had, but I don't think they're going to have it up here. No, they don't have it up here. They do. Now, the game was the 4th coldest in Buffalo Bills history with a game time temperature of 7 degrees. The wind chill made it feel like -4. Not for me, bud. And did you see Fitzmagic at the game?
No, I didn't.
You know, he's played for almost every NFL team at one time.
Yeah,
some of his good years were in Buffalo. He was in the crowd with his shirt off and hollering, but yeah.
I didn't see that.
Fitzmagic at Buffalo. I know the Washington people love seeing that with, especially when he was out with a bad hip. But Buffalo moves on. So they would travel to face either Kansas City or host the Bengals. And when we get to that in just a few minutes. So the first game on Sunday, Tampa Bay and Philadelphia. I will tell you this, early in the week, last week, I saw a quote from Tom Brady talking about, I'm reminded of that drop catch, the pass I dropped in the Super Bowl every time I see a Philadelphia fan.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing popped in my head, this is going to be ugly. And this is going to be ugly. Yeah. Brady's ticked. Because, you know, of course, he lost the Super Bowl to the Philadelphia Eagles when he was with the Patriots. And, of course, he's talking about the quarterback throwback, the pass he dropped. But, and I told somebody earlier in the week, I said, if you get Brady mad like that, going into a game, you better watch out. And it was an Eagles fan I told that. He just shrugged me off. He said, no, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. Mm-hmm. So I'm at work. And every time somebody scores in one of the games, I get updated. And that Eagles fan was at work with me. And I was like, 7-0, 14-0. And then I actually was joking with him. I said, it's 17-0 already. And he was like, no, are you kidding me? And I said, yeah, I'm kidding with you. By the time about 5 seconds later, I walked away. I said, not kidding, 17-0. And, Brady was just Tom Brady. I mean, you got to give credit
Yeah.
to the guy. When at his age to be doing what he's doing, I don't like him, but man, he's good.
Yeah, he's older than any of the the opposing coaches that he's
Yeah.
playing, and he's in the playoff. He's playing.
I saw a stat the other day, and they had most playoff wins by a team. And the teams were up there. Brady by himself was in like third place. And I'm
Yeah.
talking about teams. I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about a team win. He was like
Yeah.
14 game wins behind the first place team.
Uh-huh.
And they had another stat about quarterbacks in the playoffs, most wins. He had 34. I think Ben was next with 13.
Yeah.
Got it. I mean, this ends up a blowout. This game, actually, the score doesn't tell how lopsided, because there was 2 junk touchdowns at the end. The Eagles made it look good, but 31-15, the Eagles don't score till the fourth quarter. And I mean, it was never close.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
I lost.
He's having some technical difficulties, guys. Watch
Yeah,
out.
sorry guys. Yeah, I mean, once they got that big lead by halftime, I mean, you could tell that Tampa Bay really, they let off the gas. Brady wanted to stay in the game, though. He did not want to come out.
Yeah, you think I would have left him in that game? Not a chance. Once he got out of hand, no, I would have kept him out of that game. If Arians, 31-15, like we said, Brady's stats: 29 for 37, 271 yards, 2 TDs and no picks. One of the stories that come out of this game, Bruce Arians, and I'm gonna try to bring this up, and I don't know what was going on, but let's see if I can bring it up for it. Looked like it was a little.
He popped one of his players on the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got fined $50,000 for that.
Yeah, I think what he was trying to do, there was some kind of altercation right there on the sideline.
Yeah.
He was trying to get his guy out of it. But I mean, it was a harmless. The guy's head didn't even move. His helmet.
I mean, the guy had a helmet on. Come on. Arians said Monday he did not regret his actions. No. And I've seen enough dumb. He told reporters, according to Mike Florio of NBC Sports, you can't pull guys out of a pile. We just got a big play, great field position. He's trying to pull a guy out of a pile. And I was trying to knock him off that guy so he didn't get a penalty. So right now, I'm gonna share this and show you guys what this is all about. Here we go right here.
Bruce Arians comes in. He's pretty excited. He takes a whack at Adams.
I mean, look at it again.
Bruce Arians comes in. He's pretty excited. He takes a
get out of the pile. You know what I mean?
It's not like he took his hand and just smacked them across the head. He didn't do anything like that. $50,000 for that. This isn't Woody Hayes. I mean,
does he pay that to
Ohio
the
State
NFL?
punching a player? This is just stop.
So who does that $50,000 go to?
NFL. Who knows what the NFL does with it? But
oh my God,
ridiculous! It's ridiculous to find out. Look, let me tell you this. I'll tell you this story. Back when I was in high school, my junior year, playing offensive line, we had a sweep called, and they called for me to pull. So I go pull, and the team we played wasn't very good. Mm-hmm. So really all I had to do to the guy I was supposed to hit, I nudged him with my shoulder. Never put my hands out. I nudged him with my shoulder. and he went out of the way and I went down the sidelines. As soon as I nudged him like that, I feel a flag hit me. And I turned around like, what the heck? So I looked at the referee. I said, I never put my hands on him. Well, by the time I never put my hands out of my mouth, I felt somebody come and grab me by the face mask and pull me off to the sidelines. And it was my head coach.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and said, you don't ever talk to a referee like that. You let me deal with the referee.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yes, sir. And he proceeded to say the same thing I did. He never put his hands on him. But can you imagine if that happened now?
Oh, God. Yeah.
If they're going to fine Bruce Arians $50,000 for doing that,
They would have, NFL would have probably tried to fire him and everything else.
they'd have him in a jail somewhere.
Yeah.
But you know,
I think that's that's way overkill. That's
Definitely.
stupid, really. Yeah, when I saw that on through my news feed, I was like $50,000 for that. That's ridiculous.
it is. I mean, it's just the way society as a whole is like that now. They're just looking for something like that, and you know, it is what it is. But all right, so Tampa Bay moves on. Philadelphia goes home. Philadelphia has now gave Jalen Hurts, they committed to him as being their starting quarterback next year. So I don't know, Philadelphia fans, you tell me, is that good or bad for you? I don't know. I mean, I think he's got an upside, but he makes some bad decisions at times. I reckon it's second year, so he's due that. So the 4:00 game, 49ers and Cowboys. And started this game, I was like, when this started out, I was like, holy moly, daggum. San Francisco is jumping all over them. The offense, Dak and the offense couldn't do anything. San Francisco jumps out to a 13-0 lead. But I said, and I can remember as a Cowboy fan texting me, when they held San Francisco to that field goal to make it 13-0, I said, that was big there. Because you go down 3 scores already, it's going to be hard for you guys to come back, no matter how, if your offense catches fire. And the offense kind of caught up then. But Garoppolo, you know, everybody makes it out like Garoppolo had such a great game. He did.
Not really.
172 yards and an interception. No touchdowns.
Yeah, no touchdowns.
So, I mean, but really,
he didn't have that great of a game.
No, he did not have a great game. Deebo Samuel was probably the star of the game for the 49ers. Did you see? I don't know if you saw it or not. I need to share it. Did you see how the 49ers came out of the locker room?
No.
Oh, my gosh. They come out, and I don't know what position this guy had. He was in plain clothes. He was dressed as the 49ers coach or something like that. He comes out with this gigantic boom box on his shoulder, and they're playing something. And Deebo Samuel was in the front just doing one of them things. It was so hilarious. And you know, they've got to walk through a freaking bar at Cowboy Stadium. You know, I mean, it's plexiglass around, but can you imagine being in that bar and seeing them guys come by like that? But it worked, whatever they did. I mean, and Cowboys make a late run at the end of the game and actually have a chance to win. And first of all, let's go back a little bit early in the game. It was in the second half. And you could tell, I knew they were going to fake punt.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way the Cowboys on a 4th and short from almost at midfield are going to punt.
Yeah, are going to punt.
And they get the first down. It works.
Yep.
But the next play was what I did not understand at all. It's first down. You're going to keep your punter on the field, put him in the slot, you don't have your starting quarterback on the field. Everybody said, well, they're trying to make Dallas call a timeout. How are they going to call a timeout? Why are they going to call it? No, they're trying to make San Francisco call a timeout. Why are they going to call a timeout when you don't have your starting quarterback on the field and it's first down?
Yeah.
And it ended up costing Dallas 5 yards. They get a delay of game because they tried to bring that Dak on the field, and stupid play calling. That was the first one right there.
Yeah.
And it got worse. Dallas driving down the field, no timeouts, down 23-17 at about the 30, the San Francisco 30.
Mm-hmm.
How much? It was like 14 seconds left. You have no timeout, so you want to stay away from the middle of the field. And you sure don't want to run and play. So what do? You let Dak run a quarterback draw up the middle.
Right up the middle. Yeah.
Gets to the 20 and doesn't slide or anything.
He didn't even. And then when he slid, I mean, he didn't even look for the ref.
No.
I mean, didn't even look to see because they got to spot the ball.
And I'm sorry, you Cowboy fans out there with your BS saying the referee got in the way. The referee has to touch the ball and spot the ball. Yeah. Your center does not get to spot the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, Dak knows that too. He's been around football long enough. He knows that. He should have just give the ball to the referee and then let the referee do what he had to do. So you Cowboy fans out there throwing trash at the referees after the game. Referees did their job. And look, did you hear Dak after the game?
Oh, yeah. He had plenty of tweets about, but he came back and apologized.
Oh, he's apologized now. Do you think that wasn't a voluntary apology, though? I guarantee he was made to do that.
Yeah.
And the bad thing about it, if you watch the video of it, they almost hit one of the Cowboy players with something. It was a water bottle or something. He hit it with his helmet to keep it from hitting him.
Uh-huh.
So the Cowboys,
but, not only just that play, but you think back, all right, a couple when San Francisco had the ball, even a couple of downs, that you had the defensive penalties. The defense had 14 penalties.
14 penalties in that game.
But all right, you had a defensive holding that gave him a first down. So that extended the play for San Francisco to eat up more clock.
Yep.
And it was a couple of plays before that where they had illegal hands to the face.
They had 2 defensive holding calls in that game.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter that extended drives, and then like you said, the hands to the face. And it wasn't like it was obvious when you saw it. You saw it. I mean, it was not a picky call. Even Tony Romo said that was the right call. And I mean, I don't know if Troy Aikman had been calling the game, he might have said otherwise.
Oh God.
And
thank God.
Yeah, I did get a text from Nelson earlier that day saying Aikman was out like he was butthurt because he didn't get to call the Cowboys game this week. He had to call the Buccaneers game. So, but Deebo Samuel took it on himself. And, almost got here's a bad thing about how mistakes can hurt you. Okay, of course, Cowboys 14 penalties in the game. That's you can have all the talent in the world if you're not disciplined, and this team is not disciplined. Even the Cowboy fans are admitting that after the game. That's going to hurt you in a playoff game like this. Yeah. But then you look at San Francisco. Deebo Samuel breaks around the end on a 3rd and long, comes within inches of getting the first down, and they're going for it. They're going to put it away. If they get the first down, they put it away. San Francisco gets a penalty for not having the guys set before the ball was snapped. The guy shit, one of the offensive linemen moved over to the other side, and then Garoppolo didn't let him get set. So it wasn't the offensive lineman's fault, it was Garoppolo's fault. And that could have cost them the game. They could have put it away if they got the first down, and then Stupidity. But 49ers move on. Cowboys are out. And what do you think? What do you think Jerry Jones is thinking?
Well, who knows, because he's declined a whole lot of interviews here recently, and I don't know. He might he might have somebody's job.
You know, everybody's saying McCarthy's safe. One rumor came out Monday that there was talk that McCarthy was going to be fired, and the offensive coordinator Kellen Moore was going to be head coach. He's getting interviewed by a lot of teams for a head coaching job. Which I'm going to tell you this: Kellen Moore, I don't think he's a good offensive coordinator. You know, you got all that talent on that team, and you can't win in the big games.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And you got shucks. The Atlanta's old coach, Quinn.
Dan Quinn, yeah.
Dan Quinn.
Defense coordinator.
Yeah, somebody said he's up for a lot of interviews. So
he's gone to interview for a lot of jobs. And I'm going to talk about one interview, one guy that got interviewed. And I just wonder how serious these NFL teams, because, you know, they've got to interview a certain amount of minorities. But when you do something like what I saw, what happened, and we'll talk about this in a few minutes, it's kind of making it look like, well, we're just interviewing him because he's a minority. But I'll get to that in a few minutes. Then we had the 8:00 game. Chiefs and Steelers. And I'm going to say that, well, first of all, we got to talk about Garoppolo. Garoppolo, I'm just getting the report right now because he was questionable with his shoulder and his thumb.
Yeah.
Now they're saying Garoppolo expected to be a go in playoff game versus Green Bay, and that's on Saturday. So evidently he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
We'll see how long. You go to Lambeau Field, and it's going to be, ain't no telling how cold it's going to be there this weekend.
Yeah.
So Kansas City and Pittsburgh. And we talked about the amount of disrespect Kansas City had for Pittsburgh. And, you know, I didn't expect Pittsburgh to win, but I'll tell you this. The way the defense was playing, especially the first quarter and a half, if the offense would have backed them up and stopped getting 3 and outs and getting 30 yards in one half of total offense in one half and keep the defense off the field a little bit, Pittsburgh might have had a chance. I mean, TJ Watt gets a fumble recovery for a touchdown, goes up 7-0. But it was like, it was almost like after that, Kansas City said, all right, you woke the Giant up. And I think like five or six possessions in a row were touchdowns, and it just got ugly. It's a bad way for Ben to go out, but you knew, kind of had a feeling that it was not gonna be pretty. Mahomes.
I was like you, because San Francisco really, I mean, they held their own for a while, and I mean, not San Francisco. I'm sorry, Steelers.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh kind of held their own for a while. I was like, well, they're gonna make a game of this, but like you said, you know, the Chiefs kind of
they put it on.
Yeah.
You know, 35 points in the second and third quarter, 35-14, and that was pretty much it. I mean, Mahomes has a great game, 404 yards. He has 5 TDs. Ben, not so great, 215 yards, 2 TDs, no picks. But like I said, the defense just got tired. I mean, they were doing a good job. You know, had an interception, had that fumble recovery for a touchdown. We're holding them, and you just can't keep up like that. But Ben, you know, it's funny, after the game, Ben wouldn't come out and say he's retired, but he was just saying all the things that I'm going to be the best dad and all this stuff. So it makes me kind of wonder. I don't think he's coming. I know he's not coming back to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't go anywhere else. But I can't see Roethlisberger wearing another jersey.
Yeah.
I honestly think he's going to retire. I think it's going to be over for him.
I mean, and I think you should. I mean, he's proven the caliber of player that he is. I mean, and to go out, on the playoffs like this, I mean, I feel like that's where he should end it. I don't see the need for him to. I mean, maybe he could, but for him to go to another team and then completely bomb out.
It's not a way you want to go out.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go out that way.
Yeah, you look at the past. Joe Namath leads the Jets and goes to the Rams and completely bombs out. He's not, and of course, everybody remembers Joe Namath from that Super Bowl III, but 18 seasons with one team. I think that's the most ever, which Aaron Rodgers is 17 right now with the Packers. But it's never had a losing season. And, good way to go out. But Kansas City, that offense is catching fire again. And it looks like I heard somebody talking to, I think it was Marcus Spears talking on ESPN. It's a shame that they have to have a slap in the face, like they got a slapped in the face by Denver and Cincinnati at the end of the year to get back on track again. It's a shame like that. But do I think they're going to win it all this year? No. I'm not convinced Kansas City is going to win it all. I'm not even convinced they're going to get to the Super Bowl. And we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. The Monday night, first time ever, you have a Monday night playoff game. Rams and the Cardinals. And man, this was never, ever a game. And I'm trying right now. I want to see this play, but if I can bring it up. And we talked about this. If we said it last week, the Cardinals have backed into the playoffs. I mean, ever since they started undefeated and lose to the Packers, they've gone downhill ever since. I think they were like, what were they, 7 or 8-0, and then end up winning 3 out of the last 8 or 9. It wasn't good.
That's right.
But trying to see if this kind of scary play happened late, well, not late in the game, but Cam Akers running the ball. I don't know. Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Man, I mean, Buda Baker steps in. I don't think they're going to have it up here, but it really didn't look. I mean, you saw him. He put the shoulder down into him, but it really didn't look that bad. But man, he went down. Luckily, everything is fine. He's got movement in all his extremities, and he's fine now. But this may be it right here. But yeah, the Rams go on to win 34-11. Von Miller actually, he shows up for the first time really since that trade that brought him over from Denver. Rams look good.
He looked good.
But here's my thing with the Rams, and I would love to see the Rams win it all, just because of Matthew Stafford and all he's been through with Detroit, all those games he's been through. But hold on, here we go right here. Let me see if I can get this back up again. And there was some controversy on this play too, because of the way Cam Akers kind of looked back at him and had something to say to him.
Penalty or nothing called. Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let's see.
I'm really surprised they didn't throw a flag on that.
Yeah, here we go. Come on. So you see right there, it puts it into him, and he tells him to stay down.
Yeah.
And looks back at him again. He realized he's really hurt. Then the taunting rule. We're going to talk about it, but Buda Baker is fine. He's going to be okay. So we're good there. But the taunting rule, they need to realize that taunt rule, you've got to be more consistent with it. If you're going to call a guy for saying just a little something after he makes a tackle on the sideline and not really getting into it like that, or he's just talking to a guy. You need to do it for everybody. There was 2 instances in the Cowboys game that the Cowboys should have been called for taunting. There was a play on the sidelines on a punt. The guy was all in the guy's face.
That's right.
Head butted him and still didn't get called for it.
No call.
NFL, you want to stop taunting, you need to tell your referees to be more consistent with that. But anyway, Rams, Cam Akers has a really good game. He's back, and that's big. That's big for him because Matthew Stafford, up until he has a pretty clean game. Throws the ball 17 times.
Yeah.
202 yards, 2 TDs, no picks. But he had turned into a turnover machine near the end of the year, and they were winning despite that.
Yeah.
So you can't go out there with the Rams and just say, we're going to throw the ball at you. It's nice to get a guy like Cam Akers back for Stafford. Rams move on. Cooper Kupp has another touchdown catch because Odell Beckham has one as well. There's a lot of weapons on the Rams team.
Yeah, there is.
A lot of weapons. They should, if you're going by talent on a roster, they should win the NFC. But do I think that's going to happen? We'll have to see. So that was the last. Like I said, Rams get the win 34-11. Cardinals, I don't know what to think. Kyler Murray, he made some bad decisions.
Yeah.
That pass that was intercepted at the 3-yard line, taken back with pick six.
Yeah.
You don't do that. You don't throw it anywhere.
And in which having his kind of speed and you're getting pressured, I mean, take off running. I mean,
ain't that the reason why you've been so successful? Because you're able to do that. That's your escape route. You can make things happen with your legs.
That's right.
It kills me because back when the Steelers had Cordell Stewart, all they talked about was, and he talked about, I want to be more of a pocket passer. I don't want to have to rely on my legs. Well, guess what? Your legs got you there. Yeah, you got a strong arm. You can throw the ball 60, 70 yards in the air down the field, but your legs are what makes the difference. You don't see defenses coming in there and saying, preparing for Tom Brady. Well, we've got to get ready for him to take off running too. We got to be ready for him to take off running. You don't see that. You see they're looking, where's Brady going to throw the ball? But with these guys, speed, you got to prepare for him running. You got to prepare for him throwing. His throwing may not be that accurate, but you got to prepare for it. I'm trying to pull up. Let's see. Okay, never mind. And it's just like I said, the Cardinals, they hit a wall after that Green Bay game and just went backwards every week, except for the win over the Cowboys. And I thought maybe they would get back on track after that, but then the Seattle came to town, and Seattle took care of them. Yeah. I mean, it was not what started out as a great year for Arizona. It ends up being a nightmare. And, everybody's should Cliff Kingsbury, what's he going to do now? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But they're going home. They got a lot of time to get ready. Their drafts coming up. So all these teams are out. I know Pittsburgh's picking 20th. Let's go for a quarterback. Don't worry about Aaron Rodgers. Don't worry about Russell Wilson. Let's draft a quarterback and just have to deal with Mason Rudolph, I guess, for a while. Anyway, so next week, let's bring up our playoff schedule for next week. All right. Saturday, we got 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. Bengals at Tennessee at the Titans at 4:30. Derrick Henry is back.
How good is he going to be?
How long does it take him to shake the rust off?
Yeah.
I know he was in contact this week, in contact drills. So, and he came out fine. But how long does it take to get the rust off for that situation? This is a tough one for me.
There's a lot of tough matchups this week.
Right here is tough. Right here is really probably, I don't know about the toughest, but I'm like 50-50 right here on either one of these teams. But just because I could coin flip it. I swear I could.
Yeah.
I could go either way. I know Casey Fleet, he's a big Tennessee fan. He listens to it. I'm gonna probably make him mad right here, but I'm going with Burrow and the Bengals to get the upset at Tennessee. What about you?
Yeah. I'm like you. I've sitting here and thought long and hard about some of these matchups. Like I said, Tennessee, they relied a lot on Derrick Henry. Now, like I said, that they what's the guy that came in and filled in for Derrick Henry? Yeah, he filled his shoes pretty good. He did a pretty good job. The passing attack and the run game of the Bengals is just really good. How the defense of Tennessee is going to hold up to them. I'm leaning more towards the Bengals, but probably going to get my feelings hurt.
I think this is going to be a really close game. I really do.
Yeah.
I think the Bengals, the Titans got a week off. That helped get Henry. And, Henry, if Henry comes out playing like Derrick Henry, if he just comes out there and is like Derrick Henry, healthy Derrick Henry, this could go the Titans way. But Bengals are hot right now. That offense is good.
I just don't know how well Derrick Henry is going to be. Like you said, with being out so long, how long does it take to get the rust off?
Yeah, I'm going to pick the upset here. I'm going Cincinnati here, and then the 8:15 game, and I want to see if they've got the forecast up here for this game, because you got to have at least one. No, it's not. It's not a forecast up here. You got to have at least one snow game. But 49ers at Green Bay. And I did not realize, there was a stat up this week, Aaron Rodgers has faced the 49ers in the playoffs, I think 3 times, never beat them.
Really?
But I think this is going to be the year. I think Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers is, they beat them early in the regular season, 30-28. I don't think it's going to be that close. I think, with Garoppolo's banged up, if they get Garoppolo out, Trey Lance has to come in. I don't think Trey Lance will hold up to the pressure, but I still think Aaron Rodgers right in Green Bay right now are playing the best football in the NFL consistently.
Yep.
They're not having down weeks. The only down week they really had was when Aaron Rodgers was out.
That's right.
So I think it'll be at least 7 to 10 points, Green Bay over San Francisco. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm picking Green Bay easily on this one. I'm kind of like you. I'm thinking it might be a 2-touchdown game. I mean, it's hard to say. I don't know what the like you said, the weather's going to be like if it's in the snow. But I don't know how well San Francisco, if they've ever played a kind of conditions like that. But.
Yeah, being a West Coast team, which they came into Green Bay one time before in the playoffs and beat Green Bay with, I believe that was when your boy Colin Kaepernick was there. Yeah, they beat them that year. That was the year. I want to say that was the year they went to the Super Bowl. Yeah. But different team, and I just don't think 49ers can get past Aaron Rodgers and the Packers this year. So your Sunday games, 3:00 start for the first game, so it's a little later than usual. Rams at Tampa Bay. Now, this was actually, I want to say all of these teams met in the regular season. Rams got to win 34-24 this was early in the year.
Yeah.
But you have to remember in that game, Tampa Bay's secondary pretty much all of their secondary was hurt.
Yeah.
Is Fournette back this week? I don't think he's going to be back.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't.
It's hard to pick against Brady,
I'm going Rams.
but I honestly think, and I'm going Rams too, with that defense, Aaron Donald, Von Miller, they get pressure on Brady. You know yourself, you've watched Brady enough over the years. You get pressure on Brady and get to him a couple of times and get him frustrated. There's a difference between pissed off Brady and frustrated Brady. They both look the same, but
they don't play the same.
Pissed off Brady is dangerous.
Yeah.
Frustrated Brady gets too worried about keeping himself clean and talking to the referees, whining to the referees, and he gets totally out of his game.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to happen here, because honestly, I think that's what happened in that last game. They got to it 34-24.
And and Tampa Bay's got some offensive linemen out too.
Yeah, Tristan Wirfs is in a walking boot right now. They're big offensive.
How about the center?
Yeah, and the center's been hurt. The Tristan Wirfs, who I believe protects Brady's blind side, is in a walking boot. Whether if he plays, his mobility is going to be affected. So Rams might have a field day on the defense. It all depends on Matthew Stafford and Cam Akers. I think if Stafford doesn't turn the ball over, I think the Rams win. It's going to be a close one. I think the Rams can beat Tampa Bay at Tampa. So I'm going Rams on this over Tampa.
Yeah, I'm going Rams.
All right. So the last game, the Bills and Chiefs. And Diggs from Buffalo. I don't know if you remember last year when they lost in the AFC Championship game. He sat out on the field and watched the whole trophy presentation, the AFC Championship trophy presentation, the Chiefs, because he wanted to remember it. And he said all year long he wanted to get back to Kansas City. Well, he's got his wish now.
Here he is.
Here they go. Here we go again. Buffalo and Kansas City, not the AFC Championship game, but this is a tough one too for me. And I'm probably I'm picking a lot of underdogs.
Buffalo.
I'm picking a lot of underdogs this week. I'm going Buffalo here. I'm going Buffalo to get the upset at Arrowhead. I mean, Kansas City's only favored by 2 points, but I think Kansas City's defense can maybe not shut him down, but do enough to keep him from making an impact on Mahomes. And Buffalo, like I said, Allen's playing really great right now. I just got a feeling about Buffalo, and it may be gas. I'll probably call it that next week.
Yeah.
But I'm going Buffalo here. I'm going Buffalo over Kansas City. It's going to be close. It may come down to the end, but I got Buffalo over Kansas City. So you got Buffalo or you got Kansas City?
I picked Buffalo. Yeah.
Okay. So if everything goes right, like we picked it, which I think we both picked.
Well, see, I picked San Francisco. I picked San Francisco last week. You picked Dallas.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So you're up on me. But so if all goes like we're picking this week, we picked all games the same. AFC Championship will be the Bengals and the Bills. And then the NFC Championship will be the Rams and the Packers, which I think the Rams actually played the Packers this year. I'm not sure about the Bengals and the Bills. I wouldn't mind that. Wouldn't mind that. Any of those. I guess if out of those four teams, let's see. The Bengals, I would not want, because they're AFC North. They'd be the last ones I'd want to see win the Super Bowl. But, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So get ready. Saturday and Sunday, 2 big games. I'm off on Sunday, so I'll get to see all of those games. And even if I was working, it'll be late game. I'll see most of them. But good weekend for NFL football. It's hard to believe it's getting ready to come to an end in about 3 or 4 weeks. But some more NFL news. Raiders have parted ways with GM Mike Mayock. Mike Mayock, longtime NFL Network guy, draft. He would always be one of the draft experts. You hear the people talking today about it. I was listening to on Sirius Radio. This guy had 3 first-round picks in one draft, and only one of them has had a decent career so far.
Mm-hmm.
And the other 2 have pretty much flaked out. This is the supposed draft expert, but when he gets in the GM seat, he didn't do very well. There's a lot of it's been a train wreck since him and Gruden came in with Las Vegas together with the whole Antonio Brown deal. Of course, Mayock was right in the middle of that. And then with Gruden now with the emails and now with Mayock, it was time for him to go. Whether he may be back on NFL Network next year, we'll see. I don't think he'll get another GM job. I don't think he did a good enough job. Baker Mayfield had his shoulder surgery and expected to be he's sidelined 4 to 6 months, but should make a full recovery. A lot of people gave this guy a hard time this year.
He was banged up.
Well, I mean, you think about it. Think about Nelson. It wasn't his throwing shoulder, but still, he had a harness on the other shoulder. You think about trying to throw the ball with a harness on this shoulder, and still, it's got to hurt when you throw the ball.
Yeah.
So you can't really.
You're using. I mean, even though it's not your throwing shoulder, but still the motion, the throwing motion, you're using parts, your core, you're using your other body, part of your body, your shoulders. I mean, it's all in a rotation. I mean, if you get hit, it's still going to hurt.
Exactly.
I just, to play through injuries that he played through. I mean, he's tough. I mean, I'm surprised that he still done as well as he did. I think one game he had 4 picks in one game.
Yeah.
I can't remember who that was against, but anyway, I mean, you got to take your hat off to him to play through what he's played through.
Yeah, he missed a game with COVID, and then he after Pittsburgh pretty much put him out of the playoffs. I think they were out of the playoffs before they played Pittsburgh that Monday night. But after that Pittsburgh game, he decided I'm going to get surgery, and missed the last game of the season. So he missed 2 games, and one of them was not related to the shoulder.
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive. I mean, he's a tough guy. I can't say I don't. I do like Mayfield. Even though he plays for Cleveland, I do like Mayfield. So Stetson Bennett has decided to come back to Georgia, which, the quarterback for Georgia led him to the national championship. Decided to come back instead of going in the NFL draft, which I think was a good move for him. I don't think right now he is one of those high quality quarterbacks coming into the draft. I think, another year at Georgia, hopefully for him, and he can kind of move himself up in the draft stock. But good news for Georgia Bulldog fans is Stetson Bennett. Now, we talked earlier about about head coaching, about the interviews and stuff. The one I want to talk about, the Houston Texans, and you've got to interview so many minorities. That's the Rooney Rule. Houston Texans interviewed former Pittsburgh Steelers great wide receiver Hines Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Ward has been not really, he hasn't even been a coordinator, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, whatever.
Yeah.
He's been more like a wide receivers coach or assistant to a wide receiver. My thing is, you just got through with the guy you fired, which was Culley, was a special teams guy from Baltimore. No head coach experience, no coordinator experience. Why would you interview Hines Ward?
Yeah.
And I'm not taking anything against Hines Ward. He may end up being a great head coach one day. But it just seems like with what they're doing, it's being so obvious that, okay, he's a minority. We're going to interview him. We're not serious about it, but we're going to interview him. And I'm all about, if you're a good coach, I don't care what color you are. If you can be a good coach,
absolutely.
put you in there. Eric Bieniemy, Byron Leftwich, they deserve it. Both of those guys deserve a shot. I think Bieniemy more than Leftwich. Leftwich has the he got handed Tom Brady. Bieniemy has been at Kansas City since before Mahomes, and he's done a great job with the offense there. I think Eric Bieniemy deserves a shot. He's been waiting long enough. If he doesn't make it, then fine. But Bieniemy deserves a shot. Leftwich does too. Let him have a shot. But if you're going to interview these minorities, don't make it so obvious that we're not even serious about doing this guy. We're just interviewing him because he's a minority.
Yeah. You would think that they would just want to, interview someone that's going to put them in a position to win games based on someone's reputation.
Yeah.
Of what they've done and accomplished. And anyhow, I mean, it's.
You got another one at Tampa Bay right now, the defensive coordinator, Todd Bowles, who's got head coaching experience. He was with the Jets.
Yeah.
So that's another one that probably deserves another shot. But and I know they all have to start somewhere, but I don't think you should go from being a special teams assistant or something like that. I think it should be, okay, I've moved up from this to offensive coordinator. You just don't push your guy, because there's a lot more that goes on when you're an assistant, or even not even a coordinator, but just an assistant or something like that. There's a lot more goes on with being a head coach than that. I know they rely a lot on their coordinators, but you got a lot going on there. And I mean, you don't just do that with somebody that doesn't have any experience. So Kellen Moore is interviewing with the Vikings. So I know some Cowboy fans that would love to see him leave. Anyway, so prepare for the snow. Hope it's not as much as what they're saying, because which I am off Sunday. So, but Saturday should be a kicker. I know it's already going to be busy tomorrow, but hopefully power stays on. I would think so with snow, but hopefully everybody stays safe around these parts. And next week we'll be talking the championship games, AFC and NFC championship games. And we got to start. I'm starting to look at a lot of mock drafts. Pittsburgh season's over, so I'm starting to get a feel. Pittsburgh will have more cap room next year than they've had in years. I can't remember Pittsburgh ever having as much cap room as they do this year. I think it's like $44 million of cap space right now.
Good God.
And that's after the TJ Watt contract. So, I listened to a lot of Steelers podcasts, and some guys were talking about And actually, one of the interviews I did earlier today, which will be on, I've got 2 interviews coming up, so you're gonna get a double dose of the final score this week. Guy was talking about, yeah, I'd rather get a rookie quarterback and not pay this big, if Aaron Rodgers was to come over, you'd have to pay him $40 million, and that's most of your cap room right there. I'd rather get the rookie quarterback, build with him, and then get some more pieces in place with this cap room. But, I know some Steelers fans don't agree with me, but I'm not going to change my mind. I would love to see Aaron Rodgers, but I don't want to pay $40 million for him when he's only going to be there a couple of years.
Yeah.
So
he may not. I mean, like I said, a couple of years, he may already be ready to retire. Who knows?
Exactly. I'd rather
How
start
old
off.
is he? How old is Aaron Rodgers?
He's got to be 35 at least. Hold on, we'll find out right now.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's in his mid-30s. And he's already talking about, he wants to retire soon.
Yeah.
All right, come on, man. Aaron Rodgers, 38. I did not realize he was that old. He's the same age as Ben. Which Ben he came out of college early, so that's what it was. But next week we'll talk about championship games. We'll recap what happened this weekend. And of course, we'll have some more stuff to talk about. And Nelson, thank you again.
Thank you. Enjoyed.
Quicksilver, we'll get you back on here again next week and see what you think. But thanks again, Bud. I appreciate you coming on. It's always nice to have some company talking up here and to bounce stuff off you and see what you thought.
Yeah, man.
Guys, that's going to do it for this week. You guys have a great week. That's the final score.